and I like increasing my credit. So I keep that spreadsheet to make sure that I get every last bill paid. When I have a major purchase that's going through, I take out that cash and I set it aside. But I still do things that I like to do, like, I mean, I haven't been able to get a pedicure in a while because of the lockdown, but I used to get a pedicure every 2 weeks. But before the lockdown happened, I would go and, take care of myself, do small things for myself. And I tend to, I get myself the things that I want by, I just work more. Like, I just make more money in order to get the things that I want. I don't, unless I'm not able to work, I don't, say, oh, I can't get this or I can't get that. I just make more money, then I get what I want.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good philosophy. And let me ask you, Kat, do you budget? Do you have a problem with budgeting, or do you like to budget?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, the call dropped. I was legit, like, when Tawanda was talking about PR and stuff, I was, like, listening closely, and I didn't also realize my phone was at 1%, so that's why you didn't hear from me for a second. But anyways, no, like, so I do budget. Like, I'm a budget freak. Like I also use spreadsheet as well too. And I have, so when I was a financial analyst, like at Salesforce, before, like, I stepped up to be, I switched roles as a UX designer because, long story short, like, I didn't enjoy like that aspect, and it wasn't as interesting for me, like, as a career. But I apply the same exact method, like, on my own budgeting. And so before, I used to be horrible at budgeting. Like, I was just like you, Kay. Like, I still get my nails done, but, like, because of shelter in place, like, there's no way to do it. But like, I would like have expenses, like, for like a fun budget, which was, I would say, like, I think this, or like these past few months, I would be at, like, spending, like, for me to, like, have leisure of, like, getting my nails done, my hair and all that stuff. Like, at some point I gave myself like a piggyback space of, like, over, like, 1,500, and, like, but these past few months I was actually looking at my long-term budgeting, and I realized that, like, I was spending so much, like, how much money I could have saved, like from having leisure stuff, and so I put it down to, like, it's crazy. I went down to, like, $300 a month, and so I was able to, like, I was spending less, like, on getting like pampering stuff, like, so instead of, like, going to the salon and stuff, obviously because of shelter in place, I was doing things on my own. And then, like, on the side, like, I have like a budget for, like, how much I have, like, for, like, my bills and all that stuff. And so my first priority is obviously, like, for like a mortgage, for my mortgage, and then also like my car payments, and also, like, times for like taking care of my parents. And so it's really important for me to budget, because my problem is if I don't budget at all, I spend nearly the amount of money I make, like, in a month, like, so easy. And so now that I've been doing it for maybe, like, 4 years, I became cheap, which is nothing. There's nothing wrong with being cheap, so you can save money, and also, cheap for, like, my own expenses, because I used to like bougie things, and now I'm just learning, like, I'm more into, like, investing the money I make versus, like, spending it all. And so I definitely budget.
Well, thank you for that answer. And we're going to take a break so we can budget some of our money here around. So let's give us one moment while we take this break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. Here is what's trending in the media. Young Money Radio. Lil Wayne asked Nicki Minaj about doing a joint album together, and Nicki Minaj says, "Whatever you want, your wish is my command." And that is what's going down. Making money moves. That's what girls do.
Okay, and thank you for holding while we took a break. So we're back, and we just had a new caller join us. And I have an area code 209, and they just joined. And who is on the line with us? Hello?
Hey, what's up? This is Zach.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay. And how
What
did
are we
you
talking
hear about it? We are talking about the best money move. Do you have any advice for everyone out there for what's the best money move for you?
For me, taking advantage of every opportunity you get and also going out and making those opportunities for yourself. So you can't wait for it to come to you. You got to go out and get it.
Okay. And what type of opportunities do you take to make money?
Me, I'm a registered nurse and I work in surgery. So I work in 3 different hospitals, and wherever the best opportunity is, that's where I go.
Okay. Oh, and what state do you work out of?
I'm in California.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you calling in. How did you hear about us?
Oh, I heard about you guys through Kat. She does a really good job of promoting the show.
Okay. Well, thank you for actually calling in, so we appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to talk. I was just going to listen in, but I'm glad I could chime in and give you my 2 cents.
Oh, yeah, I put you on the spot there. So let me ask you this, why have you on the spot? Do you budget, and do you have any budgeting advice there, people out there?
Do I budget? Definitely. I think you just need to cut out the stuff that's not important, and then not just budgeting, but also putting your money into smart investments. Like me, I bought a house, and then I had an opportunity to live somewhere else that was cheaper, so the house I bought, I ended up renting out. So, if you can get like a little piece of property, it doesn't need to be a house, but you can get like a small condo or something and rent it out. That's basically just somebody else paying your mortgage. So little things like that definitely create opportunities.
Okay. Okay, well, cool. Well, thank you for your word of advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got it. No problem.
Okay. And I'm going to ask Tawanda, now, when you are no, I'm sorry, I apologize. Zach kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting him to call in today. So, I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, no,
yeah,
you're fine.
I was just calling in to listen, but yeah, totally glad to join the show. It's been an opportunity and a pleasure, and I'll let you get back to it.
Okay, no problem. We definitely welcome you. So a lot of times when we have money issues, the issue is that we don't have an emergency fund. So is there anyone out there that currently has an emergency fund, and what is one item that is in their emergency fund? So, Tawana, do you have an emergency fund?
This is Kay. I have an emergency fund. I'm not sure what you mean by what item is in it. My money is in it.
No. Well, when I say what item, meaning like, what are you planning for? So, like, some people say that their emergency fund covers if their car breaks down or if their washer breaks down.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So the fund that I have right now is to cover 2 things. It's to cover purchasing things that will make me more money. That's the main purpose of that fund. For example, if I need to buy equipment, whatever that might be, whether it's a camera for or a microphone for ACX or a camera for YouTube, whatever it is, or if it's like maybe a class or something, that money is there to make me more money. It's specifically for that purpose. So if my car breaks down and my car makes me money, then that money goes towards that too. So, yeah.
Okay, and that's actually a smart money move and a smart way to save for a rainy day. And thank you for sharing, Kay. Tawanda, the same question to you. Do you have an emergency fund, and what are you planning for? What are you saving for in case of emergency?
Well, now, yes. Years ago, no. And as you asked that question, I kind of got a really, like, sharp pain to my head, like, oh, God, that's really a good question. Because I remember probably, I can't remember the year. It might have been like 2007 or something. Anyway, I was on a job. I left, and basically I went about 3 months without a job. And I almost ended up on Skid Row because I really only had enough money to last for 1 month. And, of course, we all know that we need to have like 3 months saved up or 6 months. But a lot of times, even though you know it, that's not really the reality. And even when you think about the pandemic and things now, people were saying, oh, my gosh, I haven't worked in a week. Everything's going to get cut off. And I'm like, wait a minute. So everything's going to get cut off. You haven't worked in a week? Like, that's a problem. So I have learned through time and through good associations and people that you have to plan for a rainy day. So basically, in reference to, like, I know how much it takes me to live every month, like, at basic necessities. So my emergency fund ensures that I can, if I didn't have to do anything for a couple of months, I'm not going to end up on Skid Row. And then I'm going to be a good steward of the funding. So that's actually what it's for. And then as far as just putting money into things to invest, it will be for different things that I wanted to invest in because we know it takes money to make money. So I wanted to share that. And two more things I really wanted to add with the guy that was just talking about, like having a house and renting another house out, having multiple streams. That's just smart. It just really makes sense. And especially with the world, the new norm that we're getting ready to go into with so many jobs closing down, with like Hertz, my favorite rental car place, closing, I hope this is an eye-opener to all of us that we have to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Like, it's not just really about having money because you just want to have it. We got to have it. We need it. And we have to be more prepared because if something like this happens again, a lot of folks just won't make it because they are not in a good financial situation. And so, yeah, that's a really great question. Thank you.
And thank you for your response and your advice to everyone.
And Kay, I'd like to add something.
Oh, sure.
I think just if you're a person who works for yourself, like an emergency fund is sort of a must. Like I know many people don't have an emergency fund because they have a 9-to-5, and so they figure that paycheck will be there, whenever it will be there, like it's regular. But for people who work for themselves, like that paycheck, it's dependent upon you and if you can work and whether you can't work. You're not going to have a backup unless you have already gotten to the point where your multiple streams of income are coming whether you work or not. So, an emergency fund, if you work for yourself and you haven't reached that point yet where your multiple streams of income are large enough to where you don't have to work, I would say it's a must. Like, you must have an emergency fund. Like, if you don't have one, you're just harming yourself.
Okay, and I agree, especially like how Tawana said earlier with the whole pandemic thing. Obviously, no one planned on that happening. And once that happened, that, messed up a lot of people money-wise. And it turned upside down a lot of people's homes because they wasn't financially able to take care of themselves. And unfortunately, I know a lot of Americans obviously wasn't prepared for something like that, which is why they made a whole pandemic relief. Us as a nation, we need to overall, as a unit, need to make smarter money decisions. And I know we have a new caller jump on. It was area code 404. Is there anything you want to add to the topic tonight? Okay, we're talking about the best money move for anyone that just joins in. And I want to ask you this, Kat, do you have an emergency fund? And if so, what are you planning for? And if not, if you were to have an emergency fund, what would you be trying to make sure you have money to cover?
Hey, of course I do have an emergency fund. I definitely think it's important whenever you have a paycheck or like you get like some kind of disposable income somewhere, it's always important to put in an emergency fund because, of course, what's an emergency fund used for emergencies? And so I absolutely think, like, you never know what happens. Like, there could be some kind of disaster going on, or like you can have like a sick family member. Like, for maybe it could be like someone's parents. Like, thank God, like my parents do have life insurance, but there could just be some crazy cases that can happen, whether it's like yourself or a loved one. And so I